Numerous affiliates across the country. In Tamale, we are live on KSP 107.1 FM. Around the world, we're streaming live on 3news.com. My name is Josh Kwaning. Top of the stories are Ghana's ambassador to South Africa gives the strongest indication of intensified protection for Ghanaians in foreign nations following recent xenophobic attacks in South Africa.
They being in charge of security of the country, they've assured us that they are going to make sure that no citizen of any African country, especially in the case of Ghana, is attacked.
Also this morning, mining firms lose their license for failure to prevent illegal mining within their concessions, that according to the Environmental Protection Agency, APA. And public consultations into the anti-LGBTQ bill continues today as sponsors of the bill push for swift passage. We have details of these and more coming up shortly. Stay with us. And now let's settle for the details of the stories. And High Commissioner of Ghana to South Africa, Benjamin Anane, has given the strongest indication of intensified protection for Ghanaians in foreign nations following recent xenophobic attacks on some foreign nationals in South Africa. Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says the criminal element attacking Ghanaians and other nationals in South Africa's latest xenophobic attacks undermining the effort of building a united and stronger Africa. Addressing the media after a crunch meeting with the South African ambassador to Ghana, the minister underscored the role Ghana played in the struggle for freedom from South Africa, indicating that those perpetrating the attacks must avert their minds to history and the African unity struggle. Take a listen.
To believe in Pan-Africanism, and we continue to believe that it is only when Africa unites that Africa's full potential will be realized, as our founder, the Sadifu Dr. Kwaning said. So it is really regrettable that at this time, when we've won such a huge victory at the United Nations, the Global South has come together, all Africans, people of African descent have come together, 123 countries sending a clear message against the transatlantic enslavement of our forebears, that in this modern era, we will see such hatred, such xenophobia against each other, against Africans. It is totally unacceptable. It is condemnable, and we will do everything as a government to protect our nationals and to make sure that we demand from the South African government to protect our citizens and to keep them safe, because we owe them that duty of care.
And that was Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who is the Minister for Foreign Affairs. And now High Commissioner of Ghana to South Africa, Benjamin Anane, assured that this will be the last time such attacks are meted out to Ghanaians.
They've given us all the assurances. They've given us top security briefings indicating to us that the last 2 years or so, nothing xenophobic has happened. And they draw the parallel between yesteryears and what is happening currently. And we've realized that anytime there is local assembly elections in South Africa, these things do happen. They've indicated to us that there are political undertones to it. As a government, they being in charge of security of the country, they've assured us that they are going to make sure that no citizen of any African country, especially in the case of Ghana, is attacked or unprovoked. And I'm confident in letting you know that for the first time, they've opened their doors to us. For the first time, they've told us what they are doing. For example, what happened in Tata, like I indicated, we had a very frantic call, an honest one with the mayor of the area, and the mayor also decided to add the police chief so that they could brief us on what they are doing to protect our citizens. It's never happened before, and I believe that this is a step in the right direction.
We had Benjamin Anane, who is the High Commissioner of Ghana to South Africa. Away from that, and public consultations into the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, widely referred to as the anti-LGBTQ bill, will continue today with the aim to gather stakeholder inputs into the bill. On the first day, sponsors of the bill called on Ghana to take inspiration from other African countries that have enacted similar laws, adding the proposed legislation meets all necessary legal and financial requirements. There's more in this report.
Ghana is seeking to criminalize same-sex relations, identifying as LGBTQ and public expression of this identity. Parliament is seeking to pass a legislation that addresses these varied issues without compromise.
We take cognizance of the rights of individuals who may be affected by this, and we're making the provisions in such a way that no individual, no Ghanaian's rights are going to be infringed.
Sponsors of the anti-LGBTQ bill have sung the same chorus that the reintroduced legislation is no different from the earlier one passed by the 8th Parliament.
I do not think that this bill should be subjected to fresh national dialogue. In fact, all the CSOs and all the concerns most of them have gone through are the same concerns that came up in the first cycle of this bill. We can expedite this bill in a day without compromising any part of our procedures.
Uganda has replicated our bill, gone ahead to pass it. Senegal has done the same, passed it, and even reviewed their bill to increase the sanctions. And let us be clear, it has not brought any economic sanctions on any of those countries.
Stakeholders agree that the country needs a law to protect its cultural and religious values. But all of that would come in the face of human rights concerns that have been raised by many. Christian Yali, TV3 News.
And our mining firms who fail to prevent illegal mining activities in their concession risk losing their mining license, according to the Environmental Protection Authority. And in a press release issued on Thursday, April 23, the authority reaffirmed its legal mandate under the Environmental Protection Act 2025 and the Environmental Protection Regulations 2025, stressing that all operators are under a statutory obligation to safeguard the environmental integrity of their licensed areas. The EPA expressed mounting concern for the rise of illegal mining, widely known as galamsey, taking place within legally acquired concessions. And sanctions may include the suspension or outright revocation of environmental permits, the imposition of administrative fines, and coordinated enforcement operations carried out in partnership with state and security agencies. Speaking to 3FM CEO of the Chamber of Mines, Engineer Kwaning says they will collaborate with government to ensure implementation. Take a listen.
On government to be able to do for you, the local authorities, and be able to escalate it. So I'm pretty sure that in all of this that the EPA is going to do, it is going to look at all of to the attention of the relevant authorities. What are the steps that you have taken? There are things that we do. I can tell you of situations where some of our mining firms have gone, they've seen some illegal activity, they'll go fill up, some of these leaching pits that these people would do. You take those activities, so they take those actions, and because of that, your workers are going home and they are stoned. But it doesn't prevent you. It doesn't say that you still should not do that. And one of the things you will see in a mine is that all of these things are documented and are reported back to the regulators. So I definitely am pretty sure that when with the EPA, with what it is that they have issued, the statement they have issued, we will work together with them, and we would engage them as well.
And Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashikwe is the CEO of the Chamber of Mines. If you just tune in, you're listening to the morning news on 3FM 92.7 with me, George Kwaning. More news this morning. The Ghana Great Company Limited, GreatCo, has allayed fears of prolonged power disruptions due to a fire outbreak at its Akosombo substation. GreatCo engineers are actively working to stabilize the system for power supply and minimize the impact of any disruption. GreatCo announced that a fire outbreak at the Akosombo substation has disrupted operations and affected electricity supply in parts of the country. In a press statement issued, GreatCo stated that the incident occurred at about 2:01 p.m. on Thursday, prompting immediate response efforts. According to the company, the fire has impacted power generation and transmission within the national grid, leading to outages in several areas. Emergency response teams were swiftly deployed to the scene and are working continuously to manage the incident. Technical experts are also undertaking a full assessment to determine the extent of the damage and outline the steps required to restore normal operations. Still staying with the issues on power, the Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Kwaning, has assured Ghanaians of improved and more reliable electricity services as the company rolls out strategic measures to tackle persistent power outages affecting homes and businesses across the country. According to him, ECG has implemented a series of precautionary and corrective interventions aimed at minimizing frequent power cuts and stabilizing supply to support economic activities and daily life. The managing director made these remarks during an inspection tour of key ongoing power and infrastructure projects in the Ashanti region.
We are not experiencing load shedding because we have enough generation. We are not experiencing doomsday. Once in a while, we have constraints in our ability to move the power to customers. And when that happens, we need to take some people off. Or the line goes off by itself because we have devices that control how much power is going out. If what is demanded on the network is more than our capacity, then the devices will go off, will take the line off. So we are not experiencing load shedding.
Kwaning Pepena is the Managing Director of Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. That brings us to the end of the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website. It's 3news.com. We're back for business. Stay with us.